British Prime Minister David Cameron has wrapped up quite an eventful visit to Jamaica. Prime Minister Cameron and Jamaican Prime Minister Portia Simpson-Miller discussed matters of mutual interest, including crime prevention, economic cooperation and climate change. The UK leader also solidified Britain's unreserved commitment to its Caribbean friend and former colony. More from Tanika Thomas.
First, it was United States President Barack Obama who visited Jamaica in April, and some 5 months later, the government is welcoming not one but two world leaders, United Kingdom Prime Minister David Cameron and the Prime Minister of Japan Shinzo Abe. UK Prime Minister David Cameron arrived on Tuesday at the Norman Manley International Airport at approximately 4 p.m. Mr. Cameron was greeted by Prime Minister Portia Simpson-Miller, Opposition Leader Andrew Holness, and other state officials. For Justice Minister Senator Mark Golding, the visits by three prominent world leaders, all of which are members of the elite G7 countries, is very significant to Jamaica.
The significance of it is that it's the second in a series of of visits of very senior world leaders. We've had the President of the United States, now we're having the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, and we're tomorrow having the Prime Minister of Japan. That's 3 out of the G7 leaders who have come to Jamaica in a 6-month period, and I think it speaks volumes for the esteem that Jamaica is now held in the international community, the appreciation for the difficult but effective structural reforms that have been implemented, and the fact that Jamaica is now moving in the right direction and the international community wants to support us in that move.
The next order of business between the two heads of state was a bilateral meeting at Jamaica House. UK Prime Minister David Cameron underscored that his visit was to reinvigorate Britain's ties with Jamaica. He says the two countries share colossal ties that predate 1962. And he also came bearing gifts. Mr. Cameron announced that the UK will be providing a £300 million fund tailored for infrastructure development.
The United Kingdom will establish a new £300 million fund to provide grants for infrastructure projects across the Caribbean, including right here in Jamaica. I believe this money could help to unleash trade across the region with new roads, new bridges, new port infrastructure to help speed up freight movements. And I believe it will help benefit British businesses who have the knowledge and expertise to deliver infrastructure improvements. This will make the United Kingdom the largest bilateral donor to the region, and I hope it is proof of our renewed commitment to the region and to Jamaica.
On the issue of security cooperation, Mr. Cameron says he will continue to work with Jamaica to combat organized crime and tackle corruption. He also pledged funds to build a new correctional center on the island.
Today we've agreed to work together to build a new prison here in Kingston, improving the ability of the Jamaican criminal justice system to deal with crime, and also enabling the United Kingdom to return criminals to serve their sentence. This, I believe, is in the interests of both of us and is a good example of how we can work together to benefit people here in Jamaica and in Britain too.
Meanwhile, one crucial issue Jamaicans wanted dialogue on was reparations. Some members of the National Commission on Reparations called for a formal apology from the UK leader. Prime Minister Portia Simpson-Miller said the issue was raised.
I brought to Prime Minister's attention the issue of reparations, indicating that Jamaica is involved in a process under the auspices of the Caribbean community to engage the UK on the matter. While we are aware of the obvious sensitivities involved, I take great encouragement from the maturity, openness and friendliness of our exchanges today, Prime Minister, and we look forward to programmatic and policy action on the part of both our governments in the areas discussed.
Mrs. Simpson-Miller emphasized that the UK remains one of Jamaica's main trading partners as a key tourist market and a source of foreign direct investment.
The support of the United Kingdom has been vital to Jamaica's determined and disciplined pursuit of macroeconomic stability. Our economic progress in recent times has also been assisted by UK funded programs in the areas of climate change adaptation and renewable energy. Jamaica continues to be grateful for cooperation programs with the UK in the area of security. These have included the ongoing citizen security and justice program, as well as the Jamaica Constabulary Force Accountability Program.
Tanika Thomas reporting for CEEN Caribbean News.
And Prime Minister David Cameron will allocate $9 billion to the region to help mitigate the impact of climate change.
And the United Kingdom recognises this is particularly important for this region, with 60% of the population living within 1.5 kilometres of the coast. We have spent money in the last 5 years, some 60 million in the Caribbean, to help countries deal with the effects of climate change. But frankly, I think we can do so much more. Earlier this week in New York, I announced that we will be providing $9 billion over the next 5 years for climate finance. And I'm determined to ensure that some of that money is spent right here, helping your country to adapt to this challenge, to adapt to the changes needed.
Meanwhile, Mr. Cameron hopes his visit will erase any thoughts that England has ignored its former colony. He notes that England is very committed to nurturing ties with not only Jamaica but the region. Mr. Cameron's visit is his first as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, and he's also the first British Prime Minister to visit Jamaica in 14 years.
It's been a good meeting. I think it's been a very good meeting. I'm convinced that Britain has a lot to offer Jamaica and her neighbours too. We want to be your partner for the future, your partner of choice, and I hope that my visit here today can mark the start of an even stronger relationship. Thank you, Prime Minister.